Howdy folks, welcome back to 50 Nautical Mile Arc. Today we're going to step away from 50 States series because we kind of have like a double subscriber request. I had a comment that they wanted a flight from Vancouver back to Hope. And if you remember recently we kind of flew along the border and stopped in Hope and kept going, but there's a comment about starting in Vancouver going back to Hope, and we're going to do that. At the same time, someone left a comment that they were hoping to see Abbotsford in the previous flight out here. So we're not only going to fly back to Hope, we're going to go along NDB to NDB to NDB and fly over Abbotsford. We're not going to stop there, we're going to fly over there. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone, and that's the plan for this flight. So I'm just looking around. The weather, real world weather's turned down, of course. I had to back up the time early in the day, though. I wanted to do a 4 p.m. flight, but it was almost dark. And in real life right now, in the Northern Hemisphere, it is not getting dark at 4 p.m. It's getting dark after 10 p.m. But for some reason, the simulator has like backwards seasons or something. We actually talked about that when we were in Sweden, when it should have been dark till, or light till like 10 or 11 p.m. when it was dark at noon or something. It was really crazy. Same thing just happened here. I set the sim for 4 o'clock. It was pitch black. I backed it off a couple hours, so we'll probably have a evening flight, I guess. In fact, I think I might actually back it off more because I don't think we're going to have any lights at Hope. So let's just back up the day. If we hold Shift and K, it'll make it a little earlier in the day. We do have a clock inside the cockpit that we can see what time it actually is. Otherwise, you might be saying to yourself, he just said Vancouver, but we're not at the Vancouver airport, which is correct. We're at Boundary Bay. I figured since we already flew to Vancouver airport, why not let's start in the Vancouver area, but not at the Vancouver airport. And wow, I've never seen these trees up close. Those trees are hideous. Like 2 years ago, someone left a comment that trees are hideous. And yeah, they are. I've never really looked at them from the side. Anyway, it's not a tree simulator, so we'll be fine. Anyway, so we're going to start at Boundary Bay, just for some variety. That is Charlie Zulu, Bravo, Bravo, by the way. And we're going to fly over to Hope, Charlie Yankee Hotel Echo. But we're going to fly over White Rock, we're going to fly over Abbotsford, and we're going to fly over Cultus, all using NDB, which brings me to my other point, is that we were originally going to use the new Aerobasque Robin, the freeware aircraft, but I found out the G1000 does not have ADF. The real life one does not have ADF unless you buy it as an option, and from what I could find, the simulated G1000 does not have ADF. So therefore, we can't do this flight with a glass cockpit because we can't navigate, which is hilarious. I could have used a GPS, of course, and put in the airports as waypoints and just done that way. But I want to use ADF. I haven't used ADF in a really long time. So that's what we're going to do. Usually an ADF card right here. But in order to do that, we need this aircraft. I mean, there are a few others, of course, but I wanted a smaller aircraft. So this is going to take a little while. This isn't exactly a short flight, so we got to get cracking here. Because it is past my bedtime, like it always is in the summer when I do Flight Simulator. So it's either fly past my bedtime or not fly for you at all until fall when the kids go back to school. Because, you know, we let the kids stay up a little bit later in the summer. Later mean 8 o'clock. But then my wife and I have adult things to take care of, like dishes and feed all the pets. And by the time I get to Flight Simulator, it should be bedtime. So anyway, here we go. Let's get this thing started up. The previous video we used this as well, so I apologize for having the same aircraft twice, although I did talk about maybe doing flights where we do like 5 in a row of the same aircraft. That's not what this is. It's just coincidence. We're using the same aircraft twice. So let's turn on the master. Let's turn on the fuel pump. Let's turn on the strobe. Let's not pitot heat yet. Everything's back. Let's do mixer forward. A little bit of throttle. Am I forgetting something? I don't think so. I really should write out a checklist for this thing. Let's start this thing up. There we go, simple as that. And we'll sync our gyros, yes. And if you watch the compass in the middle, not the compass, but the, yeah, that's a compass. It's not an HSI. If you watch that thing, it'll spin, because we had to sync them. There we go. Now we can turn the avionics on. And let's turn the nav on while we're at it. Fuel pump will stay on until we take off. Let's bring back the mixture a little bit. Like so, bring back the throttles a little bit. Beacon can come on. Turn the taxi lights. We're going to taxi in a moment. Flight plan. I was thinking of putting our destination on the GPS, but I'm not going to. We're going to go purely ADF. So let me see if I can find how we tune the ADF in this thing. Oh, here it is, right up over here on the right. So first ADF is what? White Rock 332. So ADF, okay. 33, no, this one? No, this one? How do I, oh, I see 3, okay. 32. How do I get the middle one? Do I go round like this? Okay, there we go. 3, 3, 2. And then how do I switch it? There we go. 3, 3, 2, double check. Then the next one, let's that get going. 3, 4, 4. So to spin that up, just this way, 3, 4, 4, then I'll be ready to go. There we go. Let me think. I'm not using any specific radial in or out heading. We're just going to point towards it. We'll just point towards it, point towards the next one, point towards the next one. If there's a gap, whatever, we'll just look at the river, use that as a guide. Otherwise, that is it. We already have taxi lights down. Let's get the first set of flaps down. Let's hop outside. Where are we going? I have no idea where we're going. Let's back up super fast here. Have a good look at the airport. Whoa, not that fast. Making us dizzy. Okay. Well, I have a better idea, a smarter idea. Let's check the weather, and that'll tell us where we're going to take off from. So here we go. Weather is light and variable, so it doesn't matter where we take off from. So let's just turn to the right and take off on runway. Was going to be whatever's closest to 90. It's going to be 7. I guess that'll be runway 7 probably. And the barometer, altimeter 3000. So let's hide this. Zoom in super close. And 3000 is going to bring us to there. Just like that. Alright. Taxi view. Parking brake off. Give us some throttle. We're going to taxi to the right, which should be runway 7. Where's our taxiway start here? There's the line for parking. And we'll just skedaddle super fast. I assume there's a taxiway. Is there a line? Yeah, there's the yellow line. Finally came into view. So we will taxi along the taxiway, not... Whoa! Squealy, squealy. Not along the... We won't taxi along the runway. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're just going to have a hurried taxi here. A couple of runways come together. This should be the end of our runway as well. So let's hold here for a second. Hold runway 7. Yeah, so let's hop down here, which is here. And turn on line lights, turn off the taxi lights, and fuel rich. Fuel pump is on. Take the taxi or parking brake off. First set of flaps already down. So with autopilot, we will use autopilot so that we can sightsee. Because we're using ADF, we're not using VORs, and we're not using GPS, we'll have to use a heading bug on autopilot. Yep, runway 7, of course it is. So, because of VOR we would use nav, GPS we'd use GPS, but for ADF we use heading bug. I don't think nav follows ADF, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. So here we go. We're just going to give this thing some throttle and rudder again on my yoke. I need to get those rudder pedals. It's getting more and more difficult, especially if I have more and more real world weather. Alright, trim should be set. Yeah, there we go. Good. Alrighty. First set of flaps in. Second set of flaps. No, wait, we have one set of flaps. Never mind. I forgot to start this clock because I keep forgetting this cute little clock is here. And I got to find the one that... Is it this one? Reset? How do I reset this clock? No, I don't want to... Is it up here? I want to reset the clock. That's still our old flight. How do I reset the clock? I'm holding it. That's just going to stop. How can I clear this thing out of here? No. Strange. Whatever. 3054, we'll just add to it. Okay, here we go. Nice climb rate. Let's see, gear is fixed. And we'll keep the fuel pump on while we're climbing. Trim seems pretty good. Throttles are forward. Flaps are in. We're just going to fly along here. So we're going to fly towards ADF, which just happens coincidentally to be where we're going. That's really funny. So we're just going to line up that arrow so it's north, or not north, so that it's where we're pointing. And then we'll just follow it. And then when it spins around, we know we've reached decent passage. And then we'll just follow it outbound a little bit, and then we'll switch to the next ADF. Ooh, it's already getting really sensitive, which means we're getting closer. Alright, I don't want to get too high. I want to stay well below the cloud base, although we're only at 1,300, 1,400 feet. I think the cloud base said 4,000 feet. Let's pull that weather back up. Let's see. Cloud base, 5,000. So, in theory, we have a long ways to go. We will never reach the clouds because we're not going to cruise at 5,000. We're going to cruise about 4,000. Well, there's a cool little town or something. Resort. It's another airport. It's a grass strip. That's awesome. Alrighty, so that's all there's to it. I'm kind of bummed I don't know how to reset the clock. So we'll have to take 31 minutes away from whatever that says when we get there. Otherwise, I'm just going to chase this ADF back and forth because it's getting really sensitive. And eventually I'll use autopilot. And then I'll just use the heading bug to follow that thing. But I'm going to hand fly for a little bit. We'll do a little bit of sightseeing while I hand fly. But then I'll do some narration when I set up autopilot so you see how I do that. And I'll do some narration when I switch from one NDB to the other. Otherwise, nothing else to say. I'll catch you in a moment. Alright, we're coming up on 4,000, and we're kind of in the clouds, even though it said 5,000 on the weather. So we're going to hold it off at not hitting foreground. We're going to go down to like 40 or 37 or so. So let's do that. So I'm trimming down so I can start descending. And I'm holding the ADF just fine, because it'd be sideways if we were out of range, and we're not out of range because we're getting closer to it. So I don't know how I got so lucky and held our heading when I was sightseeing, but we did. Oh, we're up to 4,000 because I was talking. All right, let's get autopilot going. So what we're going to do, let's just hold Alt right here. Just hold it. And then that's vertical speed and come down a little bit. 200 feet per minute for right now. And let's get this heading bug going because we're kind of spinning out of control. Can I move it faster here? There we go. Let's go like, well, oh, it's moving on its own. Let's move it back. And I got to bring back throttles too because we're going to get quite fast. There we go. Okay, so vertical speed, that's getting us to come down. Heading, we'll get to the heading bug. Should turn us a little bit. So what I'm going to do now, actually, you know what? We're still in the green arc. I'm going to keep those throttles cranked. Actually, no, I'm not because we're redlining on the RPMs. There we go. Alright, so we're at cruise now. What do we need to do? I need to regroup quickly. I need to move the heading bug a little bit so we aim towards that NDF. NDB, ADF, NDB. And what I'm watching, just in case, is I'm lining up that needle so it's going in the direction we're going. I know it says north, don't worry about that. That's the movable card. What we care about is that we're pointing towards it. I'm going to keep moving the heading bug a little bit. It'll get more sensitive as we get closer. Our speed is okay. 3,700 is where we want it to be. So let's hop over here and let's hit Alt at 3,700. And it'll hold us there. And the reason why we're doing that is because of the clouds. Boom, Alt. There we go. We'll level off. Heading obviously is already engaged in autopilot. See, we're a little bit off on here now because it's getting more sensitive as it should be. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. What else did I want to say? There were a few more things. We want to turn off the fuel pump now. We're going to leave the line lights on all the time. I just like to. So there you go. We're going to cruising away. Is it really only 52 degrees right now? Wow. I guess that's right. It's like 90 in Minnesota right now. But up north, like 3 hours north of here, it's like 52. So I guess it'd be about 52 there in Vancouver. I'm kind of nervous about these mountains, though. I think what's going to happen is we're going to hit the first NDB, and then we make a pretty sharp left turn to the next NDB. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work. And then that'll be Abbotsford, because we'll be essentially going along the river, which you can't really see because it's kind of far. Well, you can kind of see it. It's right here. Right there's the river. So we're going to be on the way out here. When we flew westward, we took the river this way. Now flying east, we're going to follow the river, but not over it. We're going to be following it parallel like we are right now. So I think what's going to happen, yeah, see Stations Passage. See, we just blew by it. See that? Because it turned around. So what we'll do, let's go to the left a little bit. I think what's going to end up happening is we'll do a left turn and get to Abbotsford, NDB. What I should have done is taken like my radials and like line this up a certain way. We haven't actually done that. We've done that once in the 727 because it was NDB approach. And it worked. It was awesome. I should be doing something like that right now so we get the right outbound, but whatever. Let's flip this over. And okay. We pick it up. And yes, it is going to be a left turn even more than I said. Good. So yeah, so we're pretty much going to be following the river, but not over it like we did on the way out here. So let's just keep using the heading bug to chase that needle for the NDB. And then Alt is already held. Even though it looks like the clouds disappeared on us. We're just going to keep this altitude unless terrain becomes a problem. Then, of course, we'll climb like crazy. And that is it. So we're now in cruise. Let's get the next NDB set. So 344 is Abbotsford. The Cultus is 214. So let's do 214. Get that ready. And then we'll have yet one more for Hope. And it's getting more sensitive already, so we must be pretty close to Abbotsford. It's kind of fun doing this, not knowing where we are. There we go. So I'm just going to chase that needle. I probably won't do any narration when we change the next NDB, but I'll try to remember to catch it on camera for you. Otherwise, we're just going to stay at this level unless we have to climb over this train, which is quite possible. And if it gets too difficult, if the train gets too high, we'll just ditch the NDB thing. And just follow the river. Because if you follow the river, it goes right to Hope. You can't miss it. Just go along the river. Otherwise, that's the plan. I can't say I'm going to stick to it. And I'll catch you in a little bit. So as you can see, the weather is not too favorable for what we're doing. It kind of got worse, but at least we got to see Abbotsford and a few other things. And I had a lot of fun following those NDBs. I noticed NDB path took us through the mountains and around the mountains, so that was awesome. I liked how that worked out. So we did not have to climb to cross any terrain because the path took us between the mountains, which is awesome. And we're just going to follow the river now. We're going to catch up to the river pretty much, which is right there along the left with the town that I can't remember the name below us. But there's a river there. We're pretty much going to catch up to the river and then follow the river. Now if we follow the NDB exactly, we're going to end up hitting some mountains. So eventually we're going to break free. But we'll continue to use the heading bug just to follow the river. Let's hop inside. So we're still following it. Our ADF is pointing straight up. So we're still following NDB just fine. We're still holding 3,700 feet. But we got to get the weather information because Hope is coming up soon. So if we zoom in, see we're aiming at this NDB. But see, it would take us right into these mountains. That's why I didn't do this path, by the way. We did turn a little before. There's another little valley here, but we had to climb for that because we're really low right now. So I turned early, knowing and understanding that's how this worked. And then eventually we'll catch up to it, but we would hit this stuff. This is way above our cruise right now. So we're just going to follow the river. So we'll take it as it is till we get to about here. Then we'll break off, do our own thing, which is actually just right there. But anyway, we got to stay on task here. All right, so we click on Hope. And wind 10, gust 18. Oh, goodness. This is going to be a rough landing, folks. But the wind is 270. It's coming from 270, which means we have a runway 25, which means we can land pretty much into the winds. However, runway 25 is this one. So we have to come out here, circle to land. And it's going to be very interesting. Did it say what the cloud base was? 9,000 scattered. No. I must be understanding this wrong because 9,000. And we're at 37 and we're hitting it already. So that would that be the tops of the clouds, 9,000? Because we're hitting the base at 3,700. So I'm not sure. Anyway, unless that updates, we need a circle to land. So we're just going to keep going until we cross the river thing, and then we'll break off from our NDB, go completely visual, try to give ourselves enough room we can circle to land, which shouldn't be too bad in a Cessna. However, winds at 10, gust at 18. Alright, so if wind is 270 and the runway's 25, means we'll have a crosswind from the right a little bit. And I can do right crosswinds because my paddles for my rudders, I can use my left thumb while I use my right hand to do throttles. It's left crosswinds I can't do without pedals. Otherwise, it's getting kind of crazy here, isn't it, with this gusty wind? My goodness. Anyway, we're going to ride it out. We're going to land anyway, even though the weather's insane for landing. This little guy is kind of crazy for landing, but we'll figure it out. There's a river, which I remembered the river name when we flew out here. I can't remember the river name now. I apologize. Anyway, if you know where to look, you can see Hope. It's up there where the mountains kind of crisscross, but you'll see it closer once you get up there. Otherwise, looking back, kind of getting hazy and fading away. I did forget to get our airport elevation, though. So let's click on it again. And 0, because it's on the water. And the water goes out to the ocean. Okay. Great. Good. So 0. So we got to come down 3,700 feet. But not quite yet. We'll wait till we cross over this little mountainous thing. And then we'll get close to the river. And kind of skim the river maybe at 1,000 feet or so. Once we get over this mountain, just kind of coast the river, coast over the river. Otherwise, what we need to do for landing, we got to set a barometer, which I think was 299, did it say? 299 So barometer 29, altimeter 299 29. That'll set standard. That'll get us closer. 299 landing lights have been on the whole time. Let's turn the fuel pump back on because we're going to be ready to land. Let's turn the pitot heat on because it's getting kind of cloudy and stuff. Turn that on like that. Otherwise, we're set for landing. Gears always down. Flaps when they need to be. Wow, it's getting kind of crazy. But you can see now, if we really follow the NDB to hope we're going to run into this. So, it's not really meant to use an approach or anything. So let's break free from the NDB a little bit. Go like this. Let's start a vertical descent. Let's go 300 feet per minute for now. Because let's see, we're at 37. We got to get down. We want to get to about 1,000 and then about 800, 5 to 800 when we make our circle to land. So we want to come down 2,700 or so. So 300 feet per minute, that would be 369. No, that's not steep enough. We're closer than that. Let's do 500 feet per minute. For now, we'll adjust that as we need to. We're going to keep the throttles up because we don't want to waste any time. Oofda, it's really windy and gusty. Yikes. Really turbulent and uncomfortable. Let's actually come down steeper than that. I'd rather get down too low and level off than be too high because we got a circle to land. I don't want to have to circle twice. In the airport, I don't think you can see the beacons yet. It's up around that corner a little bit. Yeah, it's around this corner. So can't quite see it, but it'll come into view soon enough. Man, oh man, is it turbulent. Anyway, a little bit more sightseeing. I'll keep adjusting my heading bug as we get blown all over the place. Because remember, this is heading, not tracking. So whatever I set heading to, that's not the way we're tracking. So we can still get blown into stuff. Because remember, the wind is from the left a little bit right now. Because it's from 270. So even though I keep turning us left for the heading, it keeps pushing us into the mountain, see? And it's going to keep doing that. So I might end up actually just taking over manually here in a moment. Might actually be easier. Otherwise, we got to come down. I want to come down even steeper than that. I'd rather get down to the water level and just stay above the water, nice and low. Otherwise, now we'll do a little bit of sightseeing, line lights on, everything's on. Everything's on. We're ready to go. So I'm going to keep playing with my heading bug, and you get to look out the window. Alright, so as soon as you come around this corner, we should see the airport. So we're coming up on 1,000 feet, so I'm going to level this off a little bit here. And just take it easy. In fact, I think I'm going to break free from autopilot right now. Because in turbulent air, I think, well, this might be a company rule, which means companies make the rule, but I think when you're in turbulence, you're not supposed to use autopilot anyway. I think. I know I read that somewhere. Don't know how accurate or true that is, but I'm pretty sure we're going to apply that rule right now. So as soon as we come around this corner, we should see the beacon. We should see the beacon for hope. And then we'll go out to these mountains, circle to land on runway 27. It's going to be a rough landing no matter what. I'll try to do crosswind landing since it's from the right, because I can do right wing down, left rudder with my left thumb, and then right main touches, and then you want a pretty firm landing. It's a grass runway though, so we want a firm landing, but we definitely want to keep that nose wheel off the ground as long as possible and let it come down on its own. I think you see the runway. I don't think we have a beacon. I think it's just that field right there. So let's look around super fast. No, let's not look around super fast, because that was scary. I really want to look around one more time though, because we're really in this like deep valley. This is so cool. Screenshot that. Come back super fast. Screenshot that. Look out the windows. See the freeway down there. Alright. Now let's fly plane. No more sightseeing. Okay, I think we're looking at the runway right in front of us. So that'd be the opposite runway. Yep, that's the runway. So we need to somehow circle to land on that thing? This is going to be interesting. Anyway, we already did the landing checklist. Everything's set. We just got to figure out how we're going to turn around and land down there. Because there's a grass strip right under the nose. But we can't land like that. So I think we're actually going to go farther out. I think what we're going to do, let's level off a little bit. We're at 1,100 feet. Let's go out and make a nice long circle. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Give us some throttle so we climb a little bit. Let's look out the window. Is that our grass strip down there? Can't really tell. Yes, it is. Okay. So there it is. We're being completely visual as expected. I kind of know this area because we flew here once. We came down from these mountain peaks right above the Whiskey Compass. We came down from there and landed. So now we got to make a U-turn. Yeah, we're kind of high at the same time. We're going to take advantage of the distance, though. I really feel like we could turn around and make that, though. No, that's pretty dumb. I don't know the area that well to know if I can make a U-turn right now. Plus, with this wind, I mean, I'm fighting. I really should get a camera on my yoke, too. That'd be kind of cool. A little, like, webcam on my yoke so you can see how much I'm fighting all this. I guess you can see if you look down below a little bit. Well, our clock went to 4, so it's been an hour and 4 minutes, and then we'll take away 31. That'll get our flight time. Otherwise, alright, I think we can dive down there and make a U-turn. So let's do that. We are over a mountain, though, so we got to be careful. So let's just literally dive down and see if we can make this turn. And I'm going to keep as much of this in the video as I can because it's kind of interesting and scary, but you might hear my narration drop off a little bit so I can concentrate. So if I go sterile because I'm concentrating, yeah, they want you to enjoy the trip. So we're just going to dive down. We're at 1200. We know the airport is at sea level. So we're going to keep coming down. Down, down. Where is the runway? It's really hard to see in this fog. Oh boy, I think I know where the runway is. There we go. Alright, we're at 700 feet. Let's start slowing down. It's coming nice and slow, so we have a lot of time to maneuver and figure this out. Look out the window. Enjoy the scenery. There's that freeway again. First set of flaps. Now this wind, I think I want to do as little flap as possible, right? I think that's how that works. Because more flap, more drag, but more drag means more disruption from the strong winds. Yeah, there's our really strong right crosswind. See, I told you. So we're going to slow down. I don't know what the landing speed is for one set of flaps, though. So we might come in kind of hot. Oh my gosh, look at this crosswind. Look at this. I feel like we're going sideways. And we're not going anywhere. Like, oh my gosh, look at the speed, the airspeed indicator. And I know that's not our runway, that black thing up there. Our runway is grass. I think it's over here to the left. I think those are trees. Yeah. Oh my gosh, can I even go? Let's go. Let's do this. We can do this. Oh, we're really high because of the trees. I remember this now. We have to clip trees because they're too close. Oh my gosh, we are sinking fast even though our airspeed is insane. My throttles are all the way back. And look at that airspeed. Wow, my throttles are all the way back. Even though we're not moving much on the ground, our airspeed is crazy because of the wind. So here we go. I'm just going to try to land. I really don't care if we do crosswind or not. So throttles are still at idle. Okay, we're going to round out. Oh my gosh. So right main, left rudder. Let's round out. Here we go. There we go. We can do it. Right main, left rudder. Let it land itself. More rudder. Oh my gosh, I did it. Look at that. Nose wheel off. Let the nose wheel touch itself down. And we're down. Oh my goodness. I have like full left rudder going, everybody. Just to go straight. Flaps coming in. How come my best landing is in the worst conditions? Is it because I have to concentrate more? And then when I have easy conditions, my landings are terrible. Look, we're even centered on the runway. Everything about that landing was perfect. It was smooth, yet firm enough for crosswind. I had perfect amount of rudder. The nose wheel touched itself down. And we're centered. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I'm so happy with that. Alright, let's just go over here. There we go. And we'll take care of everything once we're off the runway. Wow. I don't know how I did that. Alright, so we can see the runway changes here because this is the grass when you model an airport. So let's just go over here. And we'll stop, and we'll set the parking brake, and we're going to come down. Do I have a preset? No, I don't. Let's do this one. We're going to turn off the landing lights, stop the clock. So that's an hour and 8 minutes. Take away 30. So that would be 38, take away another. So 37-minute flight time or so. Awesome. Let's turn on the fuel pump, turn off the pitot heat. We can turn that one off. Mixture back to cut off. There we go. Oops, I should turn the avionics off first. Darn it. It's dangerous on the engine to turn it off when the avionics are on. That can come off though. Off is down. Off is down. Turn that off. Turn that off. And we made it in crazy weather. 10 knot crosswind plus gusts, and I felt those gusts. I was fighting like crazy. Would have been cool to have a camera on my yoke, but we made it. And it was like my best landing ever in the worst conditions ever. How bizarre is that? Anyway, let's zoom out here while we talk about this because there's nothing to see up close. There we go. Anyway, welcome to Hope from Boundary Bay or Vancouver area. Very exciting, very nice flight. Oh, there's a farm right on the field. That's that Tree Lines and Farm add-on. Anyway, really nice flight, really good scenery. Got to fulfill 2 subscriber requests in 1. Keep those requests coming. Remember, I'll do any subscriber request as long as the flight time is less than an hour and a half and it's airplane already owned. I'm not in a position to buy aircraft right now. I say that because I'm getting a lot of requests for cold and dark tutorials and reviews of paper aircraft. But if I reach 1,000 subscribers and I can turn on monetizations, my runtime is already long enough for the new rules for YouTube. So that will get me some ad revenue to buy stuff for you all to watch. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about subscribing. Just click the subscribe button. You don't even have to watch the videos. And that way, if something pops up you do want to see, you'll be notified. Otherwise, there's my spiel on that. If you are a regular subscriber, thank you for your continuing support. If you found me by accident, please like, please subscribe, please turn on the notifications. Check out the 50-state series. Leave your flight request down below. And I'll catch you on the next one.